Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
Well, we're waiting.
Hello, and welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We are a weekly podcast, and tonight we are talking about movies. I'm your host, John Harris, and I'm joined by two other All-Stars tonight. First one being Jake Boston.
Did you know this week, 10 years ago, Breaking Bad started on the air?
Wow.
An amazing show.
And Anthony Borich.
That's a great fact. I don't even have anything to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Other than most of those characters were in Little Miss Sunshine that I just watched. Like, Hank is the gross cop.
Mm-hmm.
The salesperson that he goes and meets is Bryan Cranston.
Yep.
Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yet to see Breaking Bad, but I've been told endlessly to give it a shot.
Yeah, we've
It's time.
talked about it long enough.
It's
if you haven't
time.
done it by now, you're not going to.
I'm a TV commit-ophobe, I guess, of things. So
You need to watch it. It's 5 seasons of pure brilliance. Like, the second episode is fucking haunting. Like, he melts a guy in a bathtub.
it's pretty sweet.
It's amazing.
A good show.
Yeah.
That being said, we got a great show for you tonight. There was a lot of things in news we're going over. Then we're going to play an Oscar wager game. We took some categories from the Oscars. We're going to take our bets on who walks away with the award. And then we're going to end with a little bit of a twist on trivia.
Yeah, Brent's not here, so there's no game either. We have to think of a game on the fly.
Essentially on the fly. So we got some things in mind. We're going to see how that plays out. But it's been pretty much, we haven't talked movies since our live show. And we're still kind of trickling that out in pieces. But have you guys watched anything new lately?
Not new, just catching up on stuff. Jake let me borrow Little Miss Sunshine, which my wife had never seen, so it was fun to watch that. I've watched that twice now. It's so good. I forget how good that one is.
It's amazing.
I'm trying to think. We recently got rid of DirecTV and just
Oh,
went over
really?
to the Apple TV world and doing the
Wow.
PlayStation View. I really like
You're doing
it.
PlayStation View?
I didn't think I'd like it. I'm
good.
a week in. I don't miss anything else.
I used to have that. If your internet is strong all
Yep.
the time, then I like the service. It's just whenever my internet was shitty, I couldn't watch TV at all.
Yep.
So you can get PlayStation View through Apple TV. Mm-hmm. Nice. So it's just an app.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we hooked on Hulu on there because we were still saving money from what DirecTV was charging. So
Yeah.
Does Apple TV go to every TV in your house, or is it just like one?
just the one. But then we have a Amazon stick for the other two. So
Gotcha.
we have Netflix on the other two.
What about your
And that's
football
all I need.
games?
The PlayStation View has live channels, so made sure that the Super Bowl will be on there. I'm still watching. It's got the Big Ten Network
Interesting.
package we picked, so no, I like it.
As long as your internet's solid, I guess.
Yep, we just got the faster version from
Good.
MediaCom, so
And you're still saving money. Like,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
DirecTV
And
is so expensive.
Still saving $58 a month.
Yep.
Nice.
Ugh,
That adds
I
up
won't
over the
miss
year.
them.
Good to know.
Jake, anything for you?
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Oscar-type movies just to catch up. I'm trying to see all of them before the Oscars air in like a month from now. I downloaded this app called Letterboxd, which helps me track like what movies I've seen.
Nice.
It's really cool. I, Tonya, I saw that one
What'd you think?
about Tonya Harding. I liked it. I thought it was okay. My wife and I watched this 2020 special about them, and it gave away like everything from the movie, of course.
Yeah.
So it was good. Yeah, that's the main thing. We also watched the first 3 episodes of Black Mirror, trying to catch up on that.
Oh, from season 4?
Yeah,
What'd you think?
good stuff. My wife, it's hard for me and my wife to pick something that we both want to watch, and I always thought she didn't like Black Mirror. The first episode was a pig fucking one. She wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I'm just like, okay, she doesn't want to watch this with me. But the first episode of season 4 was that Star Trek-esque episode.
Love that episode.
She loved it too.
It was
Thank
so
God.
good.
So yeah.
If they ever come out with season 5, we need to go back, rewatch the whole thing, and podcast about it immediately, because there's so many things that click in my head during those episodes that just make you think afterwards. So good.
When Netflix got the rights to Black Mirror, they made a 2-season commitment. So season 5, we have no idea if that's going to happen yet or not.
I sure hope so.
I hope it does too, because goddamn, this show is amazing.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the news portion of our show. There's a few things we're going to hit, mostly kind of follow-ups and some small tidbits from here and there. But the first one being The Dark Universe, if you remember these movies, most recent one being The Mummy, is now being reconfigured, is the term they're using, by Universal Studios after box office setbacks. We knew this was coming, but now we have the official word. What do you expect they do? Do you think they trash everything they've done, or they do a new approach going forward?
I think I said this like 3-4 weeks ago when we had a podcast. I really want them to do The Bride of Frankenstein with Javier Bardem and Angelina Jolie like they said they were going to do. I hope it's still in the cards, because if it's not, I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't care if this is a connected universe or not. We don't really need it to be.
No.
I would argue that too, because I mean, The Mummy tried to do too many things at once with this universe, and then you end up not caring about any of those characters, really.
Yeah. I know Guillermo del Toro was given the keys to the Dark Universe, or just all the Universal monster movie people.
Yeah.
And he said no.
Really?
Even though The Shape of Water, it could pretty much be a creature from the Black Lagoon movie.
That's true.
Yeah, but
So if he was the one doing them and he didn't have a big budget, if he had the budget like he did in Shape of Water or Pan's Labyrinth, like just a $20-30 million movie, that'd be perfect. These don't need to be $150 million movies.
yeah. I would even argue that it's, even for a younger, modern audience, it'd be hard for these movies to connect with these people. I gear these movies more towards an older generation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, before we go on, while we're talking about GDLT, I lent you Pan's Labyrinth, Anthony, and you didn't talk about it.
Yep, I brought it back to Jake when I asked for Little Miss Sunshine. You know what? I got through it. I don't think I liked it as much as you guys. It was fine. I liked Shape of Water more.
Like way more, or
Like way more.
wow?
Maybe it's just because I don't know. I feel like that if I would watch that again, it wouldn't hold up.
What, The Shape of Water or Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Did you not like the subtitles, or what was wrong with it?
That part added to it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was fine. Like, it wasn't my favorite, though. I mean,
Were you sad at the end?
yeah, that part. Yeah, that was. It was sad, but it wasn't. It just wasn't my favorite. So, it was fine. If I were to give it a star rating, I'd probably give it a 3.
Okay.
That's not horrible. It's definitely not where I would put it, but yeah. You just sound way more negative on it, but it just, I guess it's not really negative. It's just like, wasn't for me.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fair.
Yeah, my opinion. I just,
Not holding it against
it's
you.
all right.
Yeah. All right, our next piece of news comes from the movie Dark Phoenix, which is the new X-Men movie that's kind of coming out in the near future. And the piece of news that's linked to it is that Hans Zimmer is supposedly coming out of superhero retirement to score this movie. If you guys remember, the last movie he did was
Justice League.
3
months ago.
Yep. He also did Dunkirk last year.
What a retirement.
Supposedly he was done, but if this is true, and it was leaked by Evan Peters, the character of playing Quicksilver, had said that Hans Zimmer is scoring this after he claimed to retire from superhero movies. But like I said plenty of times on this podcast, I follow Hans Zimmer. I'm excited for anything he does. I was impressed with him in Dunkirk. Didn't really too much notice him in Justice League, but I'm usually excited for anything he does. You guys excited for this?
The Justice League soundtrack sucked.
Yeah, I remember it being great.
It wasn't. It was just very muddled.
See, and I went and looked at IMDb. I don't see any Hans Zimmer and any other X-Men. Said Jake, you're right. It's weird that he's jumping in at this point.
Yeah, jumping in on the 4th, the 10th X-Men movie, jumping in on the 10th one.
Right.
It's crazy.
So
I don't get it. And I don't know why Evan Peters would know why Hans Zimmer is scoring his movie.
right.
Makes no sense. Whole bunch of loopholes.
So we'll see if that rumor comes true. But Hans Zimmer, please, please, please keep doing superhero movies. You do a good job at it. Our next piece of news is Cloverfield 3 may be premiering on Netflix. After the first two, the first one being Cloverfield, and it wasn't called Cloverfield 2. What was the second one called?
Cloverfield Lane.
10 Cloverfield
Field Lane.
Yep.
Came out a couple years ago. Really good. I'm excited for this series, but what's this? Does this do anything for you guys coming out on Netflix?
It's really weird why it would come out on Netflix. Once I heard this, I did some sleuthing.
Yeah.
I just did some sleuthing on what 10 Cloverfield Lane made compared to what its budget was. The budget was $15 million. How much do you think it made?
I thought it did really good.
I thought so too. Maybe. Ew, that's $50 million.
Maybe 35.
$110 million.
Damn.
Whoa.
I was gonna give it 87.
Yeah, so
Wish I would have went with my first.
that's a crazy amount compared to what its budget was. I don't know why Paramount would want to ditch it. I don't know why, unless Netflix is just throwing them a huge amount of money.
Maybe.
Can I ask you guys this though? Does the experience of watching it at home compared to the theater make this movie seem less credible in your minds?
The weird part about this new movie, do you know anything about this new Cloverfield movie?
I don't.
I don't either.
They're making it off a script called God Particle, and it's in space.
I'm okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Abrams is still behind it.
Yeah, the plot of this movie is they're in space in like a space shuttle, and they see Earth disappear.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I like this. I like the premise.
Yeah, it's just I want to see that in theaters though. I don't know if I want to see that directly to Netflix.
See, that's my concern. Is I'm not saying this is the case, but do the movies lose value when they go straight to a streaming service compared to the experience of the box office? I would argue yes.
I would say yes too on some things, but
Yeah.
some of the TV shows that I know it's different than a movie, I would rather binge. But I
Really?
don't know if I would binge a movie over and over unless I really liked it.
It honestly depends to me like how much the budget is for the movie.
Sure.
Because like these independent movies, like I'm trying to go to theaters to see all these Oscar movies. I wish they were on fucking Netflix.
Yeah. And
It's kind of a pain seeing those type of movies going to theaters to do it. Like Darkest Hour with Gary Oldman, I really don't give a fuck. Like I don't want to see that movie at all, let alone go somewhere to see it.
right. And we know that Netflix will drop cash because they spent how much on Bright?
$90 million fucking dollars
They
on
have so
Will
much
Smith
money. It's
Right.
orc movie.
Yeah. So if they can afford that, it wouldn't surprise me that Cloverfield comes to Netflix.
Yeah, and if 10 Cloverfield Lane costs 15, I wouldn't be surprised if this one in space cost around the same, like 20. I would guess between 20 and 30.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as the same talent was behind the other two or remotely that same theme,
Yeah.
I'll buy into it.
Well, the rumor was this was supposed to come out in theaters in April.
Yeah.
They just pushed it back. Like it was supposed to come out in March. Now they're saying no, it'll come out in April. But I'm guessing it's getting pushed back and back because maybe Netflix might buy it. Who the fuck knows?
Well, I'm wondering if this movie was started off as its own thing, like 10 Cloverfield Lane did, and then they decided to put Cloverfield into that title.
It is. That like the script that this is based off of, God Particle, it was on the blacklist, which means it was one of the best like unproduced scripts until it got bought.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's kind of the boat where 10 Cloverfield Lane was too. I can't remember what that original title was, but yeah, it had nothing to do with Cloverfield.
If you would have fed me the premise to 10 Cloverfield Lane without me looking into it at all, I probably would have bought into it. That's one of the movies you just go see and it just hits you because it was so good.
Well, the worst part of 10 Cloverfield Lane was it trying to tie into Cloverfield the last like 10 minutes.
Right, which wasn't really necessary.
No, not really.
If you guys remember that movie, it could have ended with just her running out and that being the end of it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, do it. That movie is amazing, man.
Yeah, I would argue it's better than the first one.
I think it is by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more personable. Mm-hmm. All right, our next piece of news comes from John Cena. Ba-dun-dun-dun.
John Cena sucks.
Ferdinand.
Supposedly, he's in talks to star as Duke Nukem.
Hail to the king, baby.
If you guys know anything about Duke Nukem, he is an egotistical video game character that I can't, for any reason, see translate to the time era we're in now.
That's what I was just going to say.
There's no way that character can be that character in the movies today.
No, the only way I can see this working is if it plays like a Last Action Hero, but instead of like with movies, it's video games.
Sure.
Have any of you ever seen Last Action Hero? Okay, this kid, it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. This kid goes to a movie and it's a franchise that he loves, and then he gets sucked into the movie. So it's him in real life knowing that all this is fake and all the characters playing it off like real. Mm-hmm. If a kid gets sucked into Duke Nukem and he's taking it all seriously and like fucking fingering twins at the same time, like he was so chauvinistic.
He was.
It's gross. And in 2018,
There's
shit's not going to fly at all.
No, not at all. Putting Duke Nukem aside, or not really aside, but what do you guys think of John Cena playing that character?
I can honestly see this doing pretty well for John Cena because he's been in a lot of stuff. He just hasn't been in that it thing to take him to the next level.
Is a video game character the it thing, though?
I feel like John Cena, if done correctly as Duke Nukem, could be as big as The Rock's turn as the Scorpion King was. Because the Scorpion King was nobody, and he made that role pretty good.
He did. Yeah, it was a decent movie.
So if I feel like he can pull Duke Nukem off because John Cena just has that dumb like derp face.
Well,
Just dumb muscle guy. Like he's got that down to a T.
Yeah.
when I read this, I instantly thought of the Amy Schumer movie where he plays like a dumb jock.
Trainwreck.
Yeah, and he's kind of wasn't he a jerk in that?
Kind of. I mean,
His character was so little in that movie that
Yeah.
he was just kind of there.
and that's the thing. I haven't liked John Cena in a lot of movies, especially comedy movies.
Okay, I haven't seen Daddy's 2 Home yet, but I watched Daddy's Home, and he was pretty funny at the very end.
But yeah, that's all he's in it, right? Yeah.
Or about that new one, Cock Blockers. You guys seen the trailer for that?
It's just called Blockers.
Oh, it's just called. It has a
Yeah.
chicken symbol. Sorry.
Yeah.
The insinuation being the chicken is
Because he butt chugs you guys.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then he sneezes and it spits out of his butt. Hilarious.
I've seen comedy. John will see it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
John,
definitely.
I won't.
No, you'll love it.
Don't even.
I'm more going back to this story. I'm more interested to see how video game ideas get pitched in movies all the time. If this actually comes to light, I'll be interested to see how they translate it. So
Don't play it seriously. Play it for laughs, and then I think it's got a shot. I really do. Yeah. Video game movies take themselves very seriously, and they don't need to.
Yeah.
Like that Tomb Raider reboot,
yeah,
playing itself way too seriously. I don't know if it's going to work or not.
that's what had me nervous about it.
Yeah. Did you watch the second trailer for that?
I didn't.
You haven't. Way better than the first.
Was it?
It shows a lot more of the plot, but it looks like a better movie to me.
I hope so.
I would watch the second trailer.
Okay.
It's good. You know how they slow down songs?
Oh no! Yes, they did. They did in this one too.
They do this one to Destiny's Child Survivor.
Oh, of course they do. You hate that too, don't you?
Yeah, but I kind of like it.
Oh, you
And he loves it
sellout.
It's just like, oh my god, this is cringe-inducing, but in a good way. It's usually in a bad way.
Sorry, this thought just came to mind. But I could see Duke Nukem working if he goes into like our time era and he thinks he's still this hot shit. All the women treat him like trash.
Yeah.
I could totally see that working.
Like, what's that fucking movie? Enchanted, where all the fairy tale people come into the real world.
Oh, yep.
Like if he, like an opposite of Jumanji, where
Yes.
instead of getting sucked into the video game, he gets sucked out.
Yep. And he's like trying to be cool with all these women. The women's like, no, get away from me, you freak. Stuff like that. I could see that comedy working for him. On the video game side, was it like what, 5 years ago we had a Duke Nukem game?
Duke Nukem Forever.
Was that so? This guy's not really relevant anymore.
And that game was horrible.
So it makes me wonder if this comes to light, if they're gonna do a tie into a game. I don't know. I could see it, but we'll see.
Like I said, this is a new time. You can't do things that Duke Nukem was doing nowadays.
Right.
So
Yep.
I don't fucking know.
We'll see how that plays out.
Yep.
All right, then our last couple pieces of news are just little tidbits here. First one is we got a title for the new Mission Impossible movie. It is called Mission Impossible Fallout, and we also got a picture of Tom Cruise hanging from a helicopter doing some Tom Cruise stunts.
Yeah. Once you're hanging off an airplane like you were, just going off a helicopter is just not
Not as
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best part about this was the memes that I saw a bunch of Fallout game memes
sure.
with Tom Cruise's head on it, and it's like, oh, that was a given.
Yeah.
Love that.
What is he falling out from, you guys?
Dun dun dun.
Is it MI6?
Maybe.
Then that wasn't that kind of the premise of the last one?
That's a promise of like every fucking Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
But
Right?
it's coming out this year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I think it's coming out this summer.
You got me to watch the last like 1, 2, or 3 in this series, and they've all been decent,
Yeah.
if not pretty good.
He broke his arm doing stunts on this one.
On this one, yeah. So and he was jumping from rooftops.
Yeah.
And he's Tom Cruise. He's 50 years old, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to do my own stunts. Thanks. But he couldn't fucking make the jump.
Is this isn't this like a 20-year-old series at this point now? The movies?
95 was the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's been going for a while, and I really liked the first Mission Impossible, the movie one.
4 was really good. I think I might like 5 even more though.
5 was
Yeah.
good.
So
Fucking solid. So I'm hoping they can keep the trend. They're keeping the same director as 5.
good.
So
Awesome.
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And then the last piece of news is Black Panther. Just to give this some context, there was a news article a couple weeks ago that said Fandango has sold the most tickets for Black Panther compared to any other movie on their website. And now we're getting reports that Black Panther is supposedly going to breach over $100 million opening, which is super exciting for Marvel fans, but also exciting for me, for someone who has no idea what's going on in these trailers.
I know nothing about Black Panther, and that makes me super excited. All I know is that I love the director. He directed Creed, and I loved Creed. and then Michael B. Jordan's in it, and I love him to death.
I think he's going to be a great villain.
That's Killmonger.
Yeah.
Oh, can't
That'll
wait.
be fun.
And then we got me and you talked earlier about Kendrick Lamar being recruited to do the soundtrack for this.
Yep.
So that even sounds pretty good. And being so close to Avengers: Infinity War, it's just gonna be so hopefully like a great lead in. Not completely focused on it, but little teases into Infinity War would be great.
That's why this is going to do so well, is people are hungry for this Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Tired of the bullshit of DC.
Right.
Well, the last Marvel movie to come out was Thor Ragnarok, and that made 120 million opening weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will do fine.
Do you think it's going to go above or below that?
Oh, below.
Well, let's do it right now. We're taking bets right now.
Oh, God.
So we gotta call a
Number?
without going prices right going over.
Without going over.
Yep.
Okay.
So who wants to go first?
John does. You're a fucking bigwig over here. Like, I think it's going to do more than Thor.
All right, so I'll call.
No way.
Thor had what?
120.
120.
I'll say 125.
I am going to go. I'm going to do 119. It's going to be really fucking close, and I'll just be a puss. I don't want to go over. I think it's going to be 119.
Anthony?
Both of us might have went over now.
See, and I fight at that, so I'll go ahead and do the 101.
101.
All right.
And Brent gets nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brent.
Brent has $1.
That's fine, because I think it might.
He might
maybe
win.
90.
Yeah.
I'm kind of. I don't know.
Give us 3 weeks, and we'll be watching Black Panther ourselves and give you a full report on our bet and hopefully our impressions of the movie.
Yeah, we should probably buy some fucking tickets, right?
Yeah, it's probably time to do that.
Yeah, we need to do that. All right, guys, let's jump into the meat portion of our show, and that is going to be the Oscar wager game. Ask you guys to circle your predictions on some nominees and categories that I kind of laid out for you. We're doing 9. We're not doing all of them. Then we're going to talk about these movies in context to the other ones, and if there's any snubs in these categories that we need to mention after we saw plenty of movies ourselves last year. Obviously, we're going to save Best Picture for last, so we're going to start with some smaller roles here, and we're going to talk them through, cast our votes, and follow up, in a month when the Oscars premiere?
A little more than a month, yep.
Yep, so we'll follow up on this in a little bit, but we're going to start with visual effects.
All right.
One of my favorite categories.
Of course.
And
Can't
Jake,
imagine which one you're going for.
Jake, would you like to read off the nominees?
Sure would. The nominees for Best Visual Effects are Blade Runner 2049, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong, Skull Island, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes.
We saw all these movies.
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
And guys, some thoughts? I guess I need to throw this out there that I'm not actually a big award show guy,
Okay.
but I appreciate when some kudos go to the movies that I really like.
Gotcha.
So people appreciate the aspects of movies that I like too. So it's good to see that.
I love award shows. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know why. It kind of reminds me of watching sports because there's a team that you root for and you really want them to win. But there's a lot of politicking in this type of shit.
Yeah.
So it's fun when an upset happens.
To me, it's like the whole, how much do you need to put into a ceremony just to give somebody an award?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like it's the drag on. I like to see I like seeing the recaps. That's what I like to see.
I will sit my ass through a 3.5 hour show, even though I hate myself during like 2 hours of it.
See, and I'm okay just catching up on my phone.
All right, so back to visual effects. Do you guys have any first impressions on who you think should win?
I know what you're going to pick, but I think I'm going to agree with you.
Okay.
I think Blade Runner 2049 has a good shot of winning.
I mean, out of this list, I'd probably pick that one too.
Yeah.
I think these are good. These are good for visual effects.
This is a strong category.
Right.
Going with Blade Runner 2049, I think that one, like we talked about in that review, there was some cool play on virtual reality / like Joy's character, just how the animation worked,
Yeah.
and just the director's portrayal of that world was mostly animated, and it looked awesome. So that's my thoughts going to Blade Runner. My only other thought was the mocap in War for Planet of the Apes I watched like a week ago, and compared to the first two, the mocap got so much better. Like I don't remember it being bad at all in the first two, but if you watch them in succession, the mocap does get really good. And Andy Serkis looks great in War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yep. And I do believe that Dawn won last time it was nominated.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I could definitely see War taking this, but my vote is for Blade Runner 2049.
I think you got Blade Runner for all of us. So
Yep. All right, the next one is going to be film editing, which is basically kind of just like how the film is shown, portrayed, cut up, and how it kind of blends together for audience viewers like us. Mm-hmm. Anthony, would you like to read off the nominees?
of course. So film editing. We have Baby Driver, Dunkirk, I, Tonya, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
So, Jake, you've seen all of these. Me and Anthony have seen Baby Driver, Dunkirk, and Shape of Water.
But I really wanted to see through 3 Billboards.
It's so good, man. It's amazing.
In relevance to film editing, though, I got tore up between Baby Driver and Shape of Water.
Okay.
First one, because I remember Baby Driver just had some really good, clean cuts and very quick pace action that really worked for that movie and for its context. But then Shape of Water just kind of had like this very free-flowing kind of fantasy feel to it. And some of the shots in there and just how things were portrayed, as far as film editing go, was also very memorable.
Yeah.
But in relevance to the other ones, Jake, how are you feeling?
Baby Driver, I feel like it's just an honor to be nominated. That type of thing. I don't think it's going to win at all, even though I think it's my second best out of all of these, but I don't think it's going to win. Shape of Water, I don't think so. We haven't went over like the number of nominations movies have gotten.
Sure.
Shape of Water is number 1 by a bullet. It's got 13 nominations.
But it does not include visual effects or like costumes,
Yeah.
which is so weird.
It's weird. The most nominations a movie's ever gotten is 14, and that was Titanic and La La Land.
Wow.
So to have 13 nominations is fucking crazy,
Yeah.
especially for Shape of Water. I don't think it's going to win film editing. The one that I would choose would be Dunkirk, honestly,
I was almost thinking that.
because it shows 3 different time periods and sinks them into a movie. Like, I think if without editing, that movie would be a mess.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
That's what I'm going off of.
But I've heard people complain that threw them off.
I know. The way the Academy thinks, the majority of them are like 60-year-old white men.
Yeah.
And I feel like they love their war movies. Like, out of all the movies,
That's
Dunkirk had the second most amount of nominations with 8.
Sure.
And no other award show really had Dunkirk mentioned at all. Like, Golden Globes didn't, Screen Actors Guild didn't, Directors Guild didn't.
Really?
So it's weird that the Academy is, like, loving this movie so much. So I feel like it'll win some. I feel like editing is kind of one of the easier ones for it to win.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Dunkirk.
I think I'm going to go Shape of Water on this one. I'm sure it's probably going to go to Dunkirk, but just to play it a little different.
Oh, Jake, you have me convinced because I was going with the Shape of Water, but now that I really think about Dunkirk, for me the editing wasn't an issue, but I've heard people complain about it.
Yeah.
But from an Academy perspective, if they're as smart as they claim there should be,
We'll see.
I can hopefully appreciate the editing behind Dunkirk.
I've heard a lot of people not like Dunkirk. Like, they thought it was very boring. I really liked Dunkirk. I didn't think it was hard to follow at all, but yeah, we'll see.
All right, our next category is going to be original score, and I'll read off our nominees here. The first one being Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and 3 Billboards. Just giving context to our story earlier, we know that Hans Zimmer did Dunkirk. I really like that. I actually like the kind of the music behind Shape of Water, but I don't think it's award-winning. Star Wars, I don't even know why it's here. Star Wars did nothing for me.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's John Williams.
Yep.
I think that's why it's there.
Yeah.
Which is more just like a nod, if anything. I don't know how was the music good in 3 Billboards.
It was just there. Like, you could barely tell it did anything. It just helped build the ambiance, but it didn't do much more than that.
Yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts?
So I've heard Jake say this more times than I every time we talk about this, and he's right. Dunkirk had you on the edge of your seat the entire movie because of its soundtrack, which is why I'm hands down going with Dunkirk for soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Okay. Jake.
I was thinking Dunkirk. I might do a curveball. I might pick the movie I haven't seen on this list, Phantom Thread, because it's based in the 1920s. It's based in Paris. It's got that old-timey feel that I feel like these old fucks would vote for. Knowing nothing off Phantom Thread, I think I might go Phantom Thread. Oh, because the guy who did this score, he's a bassist for Radiohead. He does a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies.
Oh, really?
So I'm guessing it's good. Like he did There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood. Have any of you seen that movie?
I have.
Oh, John.
If I have it, forget it.
It's like oil rigging.
Nope, never mind.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
1900s. Oh my god.
Nope.
That's a good one too.
So fucking good.
Is that the one with Bruce Willis?
No.
oh my god.
Bruce Willis.
What?
What were you
I didn't
thinking
even
of?
want to know.
Ben Affleck, oil rigging, and they go to space.
Can we just be-
Armageddon, you nasty
Can we
fuck.
just be done with
That's
this?
Michael
I
Bay.
want to go home now.
Not Paul Thomas Anderson. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
And that was Aerosmith that did that score, you gross.
Sick. Oh my god.
Jesus, John.
Damn, I wish you weren't so stupid.
So good. So good.
Oh, no.
I'm with Anthony on this one. I'm going Dunkirk just
Okay.
because that just resonated with me, and I'm doing that as a personal touch, and I really think Dunkirk has a chance here. So
There's a good possibility Dunkirk will get it. I should pick Dunkirk, but to be different, I will do Phantom Thread.
Yep. All right, let's jump into our next category. We're going to go ahead and jump to director. Jake, would you like to read off director nominees?
Nominees for Best Director are Christopher Nolan with Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson, Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro, The Shape of Water.
Thoughts, guys, on this one? There's some interesting and some really good stuff here.
This is a solid nominees.
Yeah.
I don't know any person that I would pick out.
See, there's two on here that I haven't seen. Lady Bird and Phantom Thread. I really like Get Out, and I think that's probably kind of gets back into Jake's kind of honor to be there, but I don't think it's going to get it.
It's his first movie. So I feel like Jordan Peele will have more times to get nominated. That's how these usually go.
I don't know. For director, was Lady Bird really good?
This is also Greta Gerwig's first film that she
Oh.
directed.
But I
It
can
is
see-
good, but I wouldn't pick it for direction.
So, okay, in that case, I'll probably go Dunkirk.
With Christopher Nolan?
Yep.
Really? That surprises me.
Do you want to know a fun fact about Christopher Nolan?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time he was nominated for Best Director. Ever.
Really?
Yeah.
So my thought was Del Toro and Shape of Water did a really great job. We loved that movie. I could see him taking away with this. I could actually see a bone being thrown to Gerwig, because critics jumped on Lady Bird, and I could see actually somebody walking away with this.
Some backstory.
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig wasn't nominated for Best Director at the Golden Globes, but Lady Bird won Best Picture at the Golden Globes. So people were like up in arms about that. Like, oh, this is the Me Too movement, and there's a woman director right here, but you didn't pick her. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I think some of that backlash definitely helped Greta Gerwig, and she might have a chance of winning. Who knows? Like, I honestly have no idea. Lady Bird is a great movie. I just don't know if I would pick it as like the best directed movie.
Okay.
I don't see Nolan taking away for Dunkirk either. Dunkirk was really good.
Yeah.
But I just see him being snubbed again with this one.
My vote is for The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. He won Golden Globes for Best Director, and he also won at SAG, and he also DJs haven't happened yet, but he's won Best Director twice already. I feel like the ball's going to keep on rolling that way. I think del Toro's going to get it, and I'm going to be super happy. I'm going to be super happy for him. It's going to be good.
No, I'm still going to go Nolan with Dunkirk. I think maybe he doesn't get snubbed. Maybe this is just finally gets a bone thrown.
And this is the thing, like,
And those awards love to throw it off.
That's what I'm saying.
You just said he won 2 in a row. He's looking for the third.
yeah.
He gets snubbed.
Well, and they kind of threw Scorsese a bone for The Departed when he won Best Picture. Like, there were other movies that year that should have won after that, but that was kind of like a lifetime achievement for Scorsese. They could do that for Christopher Nolan.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I'm going to go on a way right wing here. I'm going to go with Jordan Peele for Get Out.
Okay.
Because I could totally just see this being a random... Because Get Out is good.
Yeah.
I don't know how I compare... I mean, I just see this being an oddball award. And like, not saying like it's odd that he won, but not what I was expecting here. So I'm going to go with Get Out for Best Director.
Yeah. This is one of the few to where my pick is also my personal pick.
Is it?
I thought the way The Shape of Water was directed was masterfully done.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
All right, let's jump into actor in a supporting role. Anthony, would you like to lead off the nominees?
Of course. All right. So we got William Dafoe, The Florida Project. Woody Harrelson, 3 Billboards. Richard Jenkins, The Shape of Water. Christopher Plummer, All the Money in the World. And Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards. Yep,
This is
me
probably the
too.
hardest one for me to judge. I did read that Sam Rockwell was fantastic in 3 Billboards.
He was. He was very good.
I liked Richard Jenkins' The Shape of Water, but I don't know if it's award worthy. I've heard William Dafoe was good in The Florida Project, and I usually love William Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, he actually plays a good guy instead of a bad guy.
Does it work?
I haven't seen it.
Okay,
Just what I've heard. Yeah.
Jake, you've seen 3 Billboards. How were Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell?
Woody Harrelson was just Woody Harrelson, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
He was good at what he did.
Yep.
Sam Rockwell was amazing in this movie. I don't like the way that his character ended up at the end of the movie. Like the last 5 minutes didn't really gel with me. And this is the type of movie to where you either love it or hate it, and I feel like the ending has a big part of that. Even though I loved the movie but didn't like the ending, I was still okay as a whole with where the movie went. Mm-hmm. Sam Rockwell was so good in this movie. I think Sam Rockwell will win, even though I think Richard Jenkins does a better performance in The Shape of Water.
He does a good job. I did like him, but
The only thing I'm worried about is that there's a lot of 3 Billboards love. There's also a lot of 3 Billboards hate out there. And I can see Woody and Sam kind of fighting for the same vote. So that might sneak in somebody else. I think if anybody else has a shot, it'd be Willem Dafoe, even though not a lot of people have seen The Florida Project. I've just heard he does a hell of a performance in that movie.
What's the hate coming from 3 Billboards about?
A lot of like racial issues.
Is it really?
Yeah. They project the view of Missouri as like all white. I mean, there's some black people in it, but they don't play a huge role. And there's a racist, like Sam Rockwell's a racist in this movie.
Oh, really?
And just the way that his character turns out, it doesn't gel with a lot of people. And I could totally see that. I don't like the way it ended either, but
Is that more from like an audience perspective than as a critic, or are critics saying that too?
critics are definitely saying that.
Are they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. This movie is on some people's top 10 list that I've seen for critics, and I've seen critics also fucking pan this movie.
Interesting.
That's why I wanted to see it so bad. I wanted to see where I fell on it. I personally liked it, but I'm also a 20s white male, so
Yeah.
who knows? My perspective might be way different than anybody else.
So Richard Jenkins, I liked his character. Like I said, I don't know if he's award winning, but did anybody get a feel for Christopher Plummer or read anything about him in All the Money in the World?
See, I feel like the only reason why he's on here is because they took Kevin Spacey out and he's the character that they played, and he only had like a week to shoot all the shit.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, he's the best part of that movie. So
Really?
Yeah. All the Money in the World I heard is not a good movie, but his performance and the actress's name, slipping a blank, but both of them are very good. But yeah.
So what are your guys' thoughts here?
Sam Rockwell's
yeah, I'd probably go from everything that I've read. He walked away at SAG, and
He won SAG and Golden Globes.
yeah,
Usually when people are winning multiple, they continue that train.
Sure.
And just keep on chugging towards the Oscars for that win.
Sure. I'm going to be an oddball again. I'm going to go William Dafoe on a complete whim just because I love William Dafoe.
I can honestly see that happening, especially if 3 Billboards get split between Woody and Sam. I can totally see Willem Dafoe just squeaking in there.
All right, actress in supporting role. And I will read off the nominees. First one being Mary J. Blige in Mudbound. Allison Janney in I, Tonya. Leslie Manville in Phantom Thread. Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird. And Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water.
again, I've only seen one of these movies. Octavia Spencer did a great job. I don't know if I can promise that she did better than the other 4.
I really liked her in Shape of Water.
I thought she was just okay in Shape of Water.
Okay,
Really?
She has played that role in a lot of movies.
which is true.
It's fine, but yeah, and she's been nominated before for playing this role. She's never won, but I don't think she will in this one either.
And I don't really have any much else to go off with these other nominees here.
I know, Jake, you're kind of leading the pack on this one again.
From everything that I've read and seen, this is a 2-woman race. It's between Allison Janney for I, Tonya and Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird. And they're both like moms that suck.
Oh, really?
Pretty much, yeah. They're both horrible mothers.
Yeah. Well, as the characters.
Yeah, Laurie Metcalf plays like a realistic bad mom, and Allison Janney is just like batshit crazy bad mom, like hugely acted bad mom. But Allison Janney won SAG, Allison Janney won Golden Globes. She's probably going to win the Oscar, and I think Laurie Metcalf did a way better performance, in my opinion. But I think Allison Janney's going to win.
Think so?
I'll go Laurie then, just to
Yeah.
play the side role there.
I really want her to win really bad because her performance is one of the ones that stuck with me in that movie. And Allison Janney, she plays Tanya Harding's mom. And yeah, she's portraying this character from a whole bunch of interviews from this documentary. She kind of makes the performance her own, but she also just like does that character and doesn't like divert
From it?
Yeah, at all.
Like it didn't do much for you?
It worked. It was too much. Like I like the simplicity of Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird more than I did Allison Janney and I, Tonya.
Sure. I'm going to go with Laurie Metcalf as well.
Well, I hope both of you are correct because I would love for her to win.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Haven't seen Mudbound, even though it's on Netflix. Like it's a Netflix exclusive.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Man, Netflix is going to be catching up to these big
Yep.
productions very soon in all these categories, I bet.
They sure will.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into the final 3 categories and probably the biggest ones of the show, obviously. First one is going to be actor in leading role. Jake, would you like to lead off the actors?
Sure would. Nominees for actor in a leading role are Timothy Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya, Get Out, Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Despite really liking Get Out, I don't think Daniel walks away with this one.
I don't think so either. I think this is probably a Gary Oldman.
You think so?
I mean, he totally. I know you weren't excited to see this. I kind of still want to see it. He totally revamps to hit the character.
He
Do
does.
you know who he plays?
Yeah, he plays Churchill.
Winston Churchill, yeah. And from what I've heard, like he just totally gets into the character.
Yeah.
Usually the Oscars throws a whole bunch of praise if you put on prosthetics or make yourself look ugly or anything like that. Gary Oldman's going to win this.
Yeah.
think so?
hands down.
For sure. Unless they throw a bone to Daniel Day-Lewis, but he's already won 2.
And see, I feel like Denzel Washington's on there just because he's Denzel Washington.
Yeah, from what I've heard, Roman J. Israel Esquire is a turd, and his performance isn't even that good.
No.
Gary Oldman's going to win this. This is my lock. This is the one where it's like a lifetime achievement. This is like the Martin Scorsese for Best Director. They might do Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't think so. And yeah, Gary Oldman, I feel like by far and away he's going to win.
I'm gonna go with Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm basing this off the I read a lot more positive reviews for Phantom Thread and the overall performances of that movie than I did The Darkest Hour. Not taking away from Gary Oldman's portrayal in Darkest Hour, but I'm gonna go with Daniel Day-Lewis. I could see him being a 3 Peter for Phantom Thread based off the love that Phantom Thread's been receiving.
Can I throw a weird thing in right now?
Yeah.
James Franco wasn't nominated for actor in a leading role,
That's okay.
even though he won for Best Actor at Golden Globes.
He wasn't even nominated here.
No. It's weird. It's probably because of the whole like sexual allegations that
Right.
are thrown towards
yeah.
him.
But don't Oscars hate comedies?
Yeah, they're not the biggest fan of it.
There you go.
Yeah, but the Disaster Artist got nominated for a couple things. Just he didn't get nominated for anything. I just thought that was weird.
Really? I thought there was more
But
than
I
that.
actually liked him in the Disaster Artist a lot.
I did too.
I thought he did a really good job.
I would definitely take him out or take Denzel out and put him in.
Yeah.
I would be totally all right with that.
To nail the quirks of Tommy Wiseau's character, like Franco does it perfectly. Mm-hmm. And just let's
Sounds
jump into actress in a leading role. Anthony, would you like to read off the nominees?
Of course. Actress in a leading role. Sally Hawkins, The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards. Margot Robbie, I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird, thank you. And Meryl Streep, The Post. Right off the bat, here we go. Is Meryl going to get another one?
People are loving The Post, and people are loving her in that movie.
That is true.
It's probably going to be her. I want to say Sally Hawkins because I thought she did a really good job in The Shape of Water. But
Sally Hawkins did amazing and didn't talk.
right,
Like she had a singing area,
And
but that's it.
That is what actors are supposed to do.
To me, that's amazing.
Honestly, I don't want Meryl Streep to win again just because she's won too many. As a personal
She
thing,
she really hasn't though, has she? She's got snubbed a few times. Didn't she just win her first one?
Meryl Streep has she's been nominated the most, I think, out of anybody ever. I think she has close to 20 nominations.
But how many awards has she taken home? Do we know?
I know at least one. The Academy love her.
Devil Wears Prada.
Definitely not. She got nominated.
You
but I don't
wish.
think she might have actually won for that. She got nominated for fucking Mamma Mia. And that movie
Maybe
sucks.
that was it.
She got nominated for Into the Woods, and that movie sucks.
The Disney one? Into the Woods?
Woods. Yeah.
Oh no,
Come on.
They love Meryl Streep.
but not enough apparently.
No, I mean they love her enough to nominate her for Garbage.
The Iron Lady.
Oh, where she played the Queen.
And she did win Best Actress back in '83 for Sophie's Choice.
Gotcha.
80 for Kramer and Kramer.
She's won 3 times.
And she's a nominee for The Post.
3 times.
Yeah,
Damn.
she's won 3 times. I'll probably go her.
Get it, Meryl.
I'm gonna go with Sally Hawkins here.
Okay.
I just
I
love,
want to see Sally Hawkins get it, but
I was Robbie in I, Tonya.
Well, Margot Robbie and I, Tonya, pretty damn good.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet she plays a good crazy.
Yeah. Plus, she's the one who pushed for this movie to be actually like brought to more theaters just so it could be 4 nominations for all these awards.
Oh really?
I love Frances McDormand too.
That's my pick.
She really.
She is so
I bet
fucking good.
That's
in 3
half
Billboards.
the reason I want to see 3 Billboards.
She's so fucking good.
That's your pick.
The best thing about 3 Billboards is that there's no good guy. All of them are fucking villains, and she is so hateable but so lovable at the same time.
good.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's half the reason I want to see that movie.
At the Golden Globes, Frances McDormand won for Best Actor in a Drama. Saoirse Ronan won for Best Actress in a Comedy. So
Interesting.
I think it's in between those two.
Well, they
Sure.
hate comedies, so
Yeah, I don't. And Saoirse Ronan is like 22 years old. Like she's a youngin. I feel like they're gonna give it to Frances. I don't know if Frances. She might have won for Fargo. My vote is for Frances McDormand. It's my favorite actress out of all of these for her role.
You got McDormand.
Sure do.
Anthony, who'd you have?
I'll take Streep.
You're taking Streep?
Yep.
Ooh. well,
McDormand, if she wins, she's gonna do one hell of a speech too. It's gonna be amazing.
And I'm taking Hawkins.
Damn.
Yep, just because. I like being an oddball, and I really like Shape of Water.
I'd be happy if she won because everything that she did without talking is amazing.
I think so too.
Plus, has that ever been done? Like somebody winning an award for? Was there a silent film like a few years ago?
The Artist.
Did that win? Did that win?
He won Best
Unfortunately, he won
Actor.
everything.
Yeah, and they won Best Picture, and that movie's such a fart fest.
All right, and then we're jumping to the final category in the biggest one of the Oscars, and that is Best Picture. And actually, Jake, you're a big movie buff, so I'm going to toss it right back to you for the nominees of Best Picture.
Here are your nominees: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
That's so many movies.
That's a lot. That's way too many.
Well, they could do up to 10. For some reason, they didn't do a 10th.
Do they usually?
They can do anywhere between 5 and 10.
Please just get down to 5. It makes this so much easier.
Well, they used to be just 5.
I wish.
And then The Dark Knight happened.
yeah.
And that didn't get nominated. So ever since The Dark Knight, they've had the option to go anywhere between 5 and 10.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure if we can cut anything because you guys might have picks that I'm not aware of. But
We can cut Darkest Hour. That's
Yeah.
got no shot in
Yeah,
hell
I
of
don't
winning
think-
at all.
okay, what about
Probably Get Out. It can be cut.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think Get Out.
They're not picking a first timer for Best Picture.
I don't think so either.
Nope.
They might pick Lady Bird. Lady Bird's got a shot.
Either Lady
can-
Bird or
can-
3 Billboards.
Can I throw this out and tell me if I'm out of line?
Okay.
Do these Oscar guys play into the politics of it all and give it to Jordan Peele or Get Out just to appeal to the African American culture with all this news that's been going on the last few years?
No.
Well, last year there was outrage with the Oscars. There was a hashtag Oscar so white because nobody of color was nominated in anything. I don't think just from scare tactics they're gonna give Get Out Best Picture just because
No.
it's from a black director.
not a
You don't think
horror.
so?
I don't think so.
What
Not
about
horror.
lady? What about lady director?
And see, that's
For this year, that might. Did any of you watch the Golden Globes?
No.
There was so much of like a girl power aesthetic through that entire show that might lead in.
what won Best Picture in that.
Lady Bird won Best Comedy, Three Billboards
Oh,
won
that's
Best
what you
Drama.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when you have to overcompensate because you're trying to prove something, then it kind of gets askew.
Yeah, no, I totally think so too.
So it's hard to say what the Oscars will do. I was just going to point out there that Get Out could stand a chance,
I
but
think we're going to be over the board on this one.
See,
on our picks.
I'm a lot of these. It's just a privilege to be nominated, and I think the only reason a lot of these got nominated is because the Academy is starting to broaden out in age. Because Emma Stone is part of the Academy because she won Best Actress last year.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of younger people that are winning these awards that help get some of these lesser known movies into the Best Picture.
Right.
Because normally Get Out wouldn't be nominated. The last horror movie to get nominated for Best Picture was Silence of the Lambs. And that was 20 years ago.
That's a great movie.
So
see, there's some politics going into this, man. I'm gonna say it's a bad thing, but it's definitely not genuine to the film degree rating. So
well, Hollywood is slimy.
Oh,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, there's no getting around that.
Right.
And especially this Academy time, like fucking Harvey Weinstein was the king of the Oscars.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he would politic his way to the top. And it was gross.
Makes me wonder how much that gets played into this Oscar show too. Was that
Everything. It gets everything.
was that talked about or remotely mentioned in the Golden Globes? Like
They won't mention his name.
No, not Weinstein, but sexual themes.
They mentioned Weinstein in the Golden Globes. They mentioned a whole bunch of like,
No
get these
way.
sexual fucks out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's what I'm saying. When did you guys hear about the Oprah?
I didn't hear about the Oprah.
Did, and I watched
Okay.
Oprah.
Okay. And she was amazing in that.
Yeah.
But once Oprah came out, they were giving away the award for Best Director, and Natalie Portman came out, and she said this fucking snide remark. She's like, and your 5 male directors are...
Oh, boy.
Oh,
and
boy.
panned to all the directors, and Greta Gerwig obviously wasn't there. And they made all the directors look bad, even though they had no knowledge that this was going to happen. They didn't like throw their name out there. And it's not that they made bad movies.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah, this year's Golden Globes was crazy compared to any other year.
Yikes.
So I feel like a lot of this, like I feel like #MeToo is going to be part of the Oscar ceremony. I don't think it's going to be enough for Lady Bird to win.
Okay.
Even though I think it's like one of 3 movies that's got a shot.
Okay.
See, I'd put it probably at top 3 of a movie I haven't seen, but I've heard a lot. I'm probably going to pick 3 Billboards.
Sure.
Going 3 billboards?
It's a movie I haven't seen, but I really want to.
The one weird thing to go off of right now is that the director of 3 Billboards isn't nominated for Best Director. And the majority of the time, the person who wins Best Director also wins Best Picture. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. My heart is telling me 3 Billboards, but it might be Shape of Water. I can see Del Toro winning Best Director and it winning Best Picture. I feel like the 3 movies that are in contention are 3 Billboards, Shape of Water, and Lady Bird. I feel like the rest of them don't have a shot.
You don't think the Post has a shot?
No.
So we're stuck between Shape of Water, 3 Billboards, Lady Bird. I was thinking Phantom Thread should be in there. But
It honestly might. Phantom Thread was not even nominated for Golden Globes or SAG, but it's nominated for 6 Academy Awards,
yeah.
which is crazy. It might come out of nowhere. It might be the oddball that pops out here, especially with Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Thomas Anderson. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't have a lot to go off of.
So, all right, guys, let's narrow it down here to our picks. I'll go and kick it off because I'm the least knowledgeable, least credible, so my pick doesn't really matter. Going off gut and personal experience with the movie, I'm going The Shape of Water.
That's not a bad bet either. I honestly think it's between 3 Billboards and Shape of Water. Lady Bird might squeak in there, but I think it's in between those 2. I'm going to play it safe and do 3 Billboards, even though I can totally see Shape of Water winning. Especially with 13 nominations, that's fucking crazy.
Yep.
Even though last year La La Land had 14, didn't win Best Picture.
Yep, I'm sticking with 3 Billboards too.
I feel like since this is Best Picture, this should be worth 2 points instead of 1.
That's fair. I'm down for that.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so Anthony and I are doing 3 Billboards. John's doing Shape of Water.
Okay.
I think honestly this is a coin flip.
Oh
Yeah.
So
So give us a month. We'll follow up on those results. I'm kind of excited to see who comes on top. It's always fun to wager on these things.
oh yeah.
Unfortunately, like we talked about before, there is always a little bit of makes you wonder why they won, who decided to pick that. But nothing wrong with going for the movies you like, movies you think deserve to win. And after, like, I had no context for really, other than reading a brief summary on IMDb about 3 billboards, but just talking about it with you guys makes me really want to see it now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few
It's
other
awesome.
There's a few other movies on here that I really want to see too, based off talking with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll see what happens, guys. Any last thoughts on award shows in general for 2017 wraps up?
I love them. I don't know. We probably won't live stream it or anything. I might live tweet it.
Sure.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the entire thing and I'm gonna hate most of it, but I do it every year. I can't help it. I love the ambiance. I don't care about the dresses or anything. I just care about like the iconicness of the Oscars.
I can't stand speeches.
Oh, when they're good, they're good.
I just wish that it could be strictly, thank you for this award. I am honored by this award, and get off the stage.
See, you didn't see James Franco's award speech for Disaster Artist, did you? It was funny. Tommy Wiseau came on stage and everything.
If it was comedy, that's fine. But when they try to make a politic or make like a
Yeah,
point, that's
when they think way too highly of themselves, I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Like, Gary Oldman's gonna win, but he gave the most fucking boring speech ever at the Golden Globes.
Oh, really?
I love the guy, but I guess I don't like him. I don't want to know what his like real life stances are on things.
Sure.
Ugh.
Which is I don't think you need to be doing that on stage.
Yeah,
Just be happy that you got rewarded and get off.
that's what I think too.
All right, that being said, let's go and jump into the last portion of our show, and we're going to do a little twist on trivia, and we're going to do a game where we got to name an actor, and we got to list all the movies that actor's been in until you run out of ideas. And I was going to throw this out there, just because we were talking about him, and he's been in a lot of movies, if you think about it. Let's do Gary Oldman. You guys okay with that?
That's tough. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'll do it. You're playing too, aren't you?
I'm in.
All
I'm
right.
in. So
Okay.
how this works is, using Gary Oldman as the actor, we got to continue to list movies that he's in until we run out of ideas, and then it's
hate this game.
basically we cut out until it gets down to the last person.
So we always play this when we go on car trips because it takes forever, and it's nice because the car trip goes by really quick. But I'm always the one driving, so I have to double think when I'm driving.
Right. We always pick shitty people like Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller
like
and everything.
dump movies we
Yeah.
know a lot about.
Like
so-
I was gonna pick James Franco in the podcast that we talked about. We can
Yeah.
do Gary Oldman. That's gonna be way more hard. But I'm
Gary
all right with
Oldman,
it.
the only one we're doing?
yeah, by the
Oh,
time-
okay.
By the time we get through
That's
it, it's
fair.
gonna be a long time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's true.
So who wants to start?
I will.
kick it off.
All right.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I'll start off the Dark Knight train.
So you're just doing the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Okay, I will do Batman Begins.
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Sweet. Is he in that for sure?
Yep.
He is.
Okay. I'll take Dark Knight Rises.
I will take. I'll just get The Darkest Hour out of the way.
Is he in any more Harry Potter movies, Anthony?
He is, and I'm trying to remember if he's in.
How are we supposed to know if they're wrong or not?
Well,
Man, I guess one of us should have probably sat out so that we could have looked.
Yeah, but that's not fun.
how about if you think that person's wrong, you call bullshit,
And if
And they have to look it up.
but then if that person who called bullshit is wrong,
They're
they're out.
Okay,
I like
that's,
that. I like
okay,
that.
That's
Okay.
fine. I like that too. All right. So he is in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I thought he was in part 2. I've got one that I want to save, but I can't think of any other ones right now, and it's really bothering me. Oh, he's in Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
He was. He was in Kung Fu Panda 2.
Gary Oldman?
Pretty sure he's the voice.
As of
You
what?
fucker. You stole mine.
Of what?
He's the peacock. Fuck you.
Is he really?
You son of a bitch. God damn it. Now I have to think.
Jesus.
Screw you. That was mine.
Wow. Things are getting heated.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, Mike. He's been in so many
know.
fucking movies. Oh, I got another one.
I might have to drop out.
After all your Harry Potters.
I'm trying to think. He was,
He wasn't in Kung Fu Panda 3.
nope. They killed this character.
That's what spoilers.
Oh. and it's all right. I'm gonna jump out.
You're out?
Yep, I can't think of any, so I'm jumping out so that I can moderate this.
That was fast. Okay. His first Oscar nomination was for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I never heard of that movie.
Yeah.
He was a bad guy in Air Force One.
Son of a
Oh,
God! There's a
thank you
series
for that.
You
Thank you
guys
for
aren't
that.
thinking about.
he was also in True Romance. He had like a whole bunch of like tattoos on his face and gold teeth.
He was in a weird... Oh, shit. What's it called? I think it was just called Red Riding Hood.
There's a movie called Red Riding Hood that came out like 4 years ago.
I think he was in that.
I want to call bullshit.
Is it worth losing the game to?
Maybe. I've got one more.
Challenge.
If I'm wrong, I don't think Gary Oldman would be in Red Riding Hood.
I thought he was. Because I thought I remember seeing like... That
Is this an animated movie?
No, I think it's a live action.
The main girl, Amanda Seyfried?
I think so.
You're lying out of your teeth.
You can call me on it if you want to.
Do you have another one?
I have a one in the works. I gotta think of the complete name of it, but I know the gist of it.
Okay, I'll give that to you.
Woo!
And we'll give you a time limit for the next one.
What?
He was in Sid and Nancy
Why do I get a time
as Sid
limit?
Vicious. You can't have 5 minutes to think of a title.
Oh.
But I'm out after this, so I'm going to call bullshit. Even if you get it or not, yeah.
Ugh.
God damn it!
He's a chameleon. He's been in so many fucking movies as so many different roles.
Was he in Lost in Space?
That sounds like I think he might be in. Was he?
Is that your final?
Lost in Space?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the main actor in Lost in Space.
Wait, I thought it was Tim Allen.
Yeah, he's not the... No, that's Galaxy Quest.
Oh!
Lost in Space is a 1998 action-adventure family.
Yeah, I know. It has Matt LeBlanc in it.
Yep.
Oh my
Main
god!
actor.
How did you know that?
I thought he was the one with
Jake.
Galaxy Quest, or I was thinking Galaxy Quest in my head.
You
Start your timer.
fuck.
You're next.
Yeah, I'll have 30 seconds. I don't think I'm gonna get it. I can't think of a fuck. I know he's been in so many things. This is gonna drive me nuts. Lost in Space is throwing me off. I can't believe he did that piece of shit. Can't believe he was the main actor in that.
I thought he was the comedy relief with Tim Allen for some reason.
Ew.
So I got that right by being wrong.
I'm done. I can't think of anything.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Derp. Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot.
So Anthony, go ahead and just name some off some movies that we
right.
should have known.
yeah, John wins.
Fucking Hannibal. Let's see. The Book of Eli.
Did that have-
RoboCop.
The new one?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Planet 51. That was the other one I was thinking
God.
of. Is that gross?
I don't even remember that
Yes,
movie.
very good.
He was the voice of Spyro. That didn't count as a movie, but
Spyro in Spyro the Dragon?
yup.
The Fifth Element.
Oh,
Oh my god!
Air Force One.
God damn it.
You guys said Air Force One, right?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Ew, he's in the Hitman's Bodyguard.
JFK. He plays Lee Harvey Oswald.
A Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Jesus.
Quest for Camelot.
There are
Ew,
so
you
many
loved that movie.
fucking movies. I should have got Planet of the Apes. I'm pissed.
All right, well, that being said, that has been episode 29 of Super Media All-Stars. You can find us on all kinds of social media. First one being Facebook. Please like and subscribe there. We do about 3 or 4 weekly posts. Check us out on Twitter at SMASPod. Check us out on Instagram at Super Media All-Stars.
Yeah, check out my Instagram at Steelbook Obsessed. I'm at 800 followers now.
Nice.
And I'm in the tees. I don't have a lot of movies left, but from the beginning to the end of like my chronicling of all my Steelbooks, I've bought in a lot and I haven't put those on there yet.
Sure.
So first I'm going to do video games, then I'm going to do DVD Steelbooks, then I'm going to go back to Blu-rays.
Nice.
Got a system down.
And then if you're listening to us on MacBook or Apple services, be sure to like and subscribe there. If you prefer internet radio, check us out on TuneIn. And if you're an Android or PC user, check us out on Google Play. We got a lot of good stuff coming out. We got a Blade Runner Steelbook unboxing coming up shortly. We still have the second half of our video special being the top 10 movies of 2017 for each of us here at Super All-Stars. Be looking forward to that. We need to find a next movie to go to. We really can't hold out for Black Panther. That's still a month away.
Well, we're going to do Marvel Phase 1.
We are doing that. I completely forgot about that.
In a couple weeks. Yeah, we're in the process of rewatching. At the beginning of the year, if you watch one Marvel movie each week, you will be able to watch all of them right before Avengers Infinity War comes out.
We kind of started off behind the curve, but we're catching back up.
Yeah.
We're almost done with phase 1 in a couple weeks.
Yep, we still have Thor, Captain America, and the Avengers to watch.
And we'll kind of be giving like a podcast episode reviewing Marvel Phase 1 and kind of how that holds up in our review thoughts there.
That'll come out in a couple weeks.
Yep, so look forward to that. With that being said, guys, I thank you for joining me tonight. Audience, thanks for listening in. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Fucking Gary Oldman.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye-bye.
I am out of here.